Hello once again, everybody. We are back around the coffee table here for another episode of the Pokey Factor.
Welcome back to the Binge Watchers. Nice to see you again.
Yay!
The Pokey Factor.
All right.
Yes.
Right off the bat, everyone, carrying. Before we get any further, I'm going to start this rodeo. I'm carrying the good old 940-1.
Your fave.
It's still my favorite.
Yep.
And yeah, I was kicking around the house, and it's something lightweight I can have in my pocket that is a beautiful thing. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's nothing new on the channel. It's come out a couple times to play, but yeah.
It's a fantastic knife.
It's my boring knife.
My boring would be the Sabenza. Gone back to it.
Once again.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was the Emerson? At least you're rotating out of the Emerson last week.
It
I'll
was
give you
the
that
Emerson.
credit. Yeah. Okay.
It's been split pretty evenly between this and the Emerson, but last half of the week has been this guy. Yeah, it's nice to be back.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're going to surprise us by carrying a Tenacious next week or something.
And I'm rocking the
Very
Lansdale
nice.
SR1.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have a fun little announcement soon. Probably on my Instagram before you see it on the channel. But yeah.
For
The
sure.
full size is fun.
Mhm.
So.
Then I am rocking my Benchmade Crooked River.
All right.
Great little knife for sure. Yeah,
Last
little.
but not least, yeah, little knife.
Because I have the full size, so
This
it's not
thing's a
exactly
monster.
little.
Yeah. Deep carry with the left hand, just
Mhm.
for everyone to be a little bit twitchy about it being on the left hand
I was
side.
going to say, you have it wrong!
You get to watch it all night long on the left hand side.
Wow.
It's okay. It's okay.
Mhm.
And why is it all night long, guys?
Well, tonight's episode is actually going to be about the Crooked River, and
That leads us into the second announcement.
Mhm.
After everyone and what everyone is carrying, we've got a great announcement. The Cutting Edge Cutlery Company has now started to donate knives to the channel for us to review. They're going to let us play with some stuff and have some review time. So we had a completely different episode planned this week, but because of the awesome announcement that Cutting Edge is now going to be donating to our channel and letting us play with some stuff off of their shelves just for our opinions and stuff. We switched this week's episode to one of the newest, fanciest, hottest things on their shelf right now that we were allowed to review. And we've got it. It's the top one.
That's right. Oh, yes.
Show the label. You can even zoom in on the label
Yeah.
before we do the reveal. This is the brand new. Is that as close as we go? Can we get closer? Can we get some zoomy action?
right up in
Right there. It's the Dash
1801.
1801.
Yep.
If anyone knows what it is, comment quick. It's live. It's a live feed. No, it's not.
Indeed.
It's not a live feed at all.
And why this one's special is because it was a limited edition that they did for a contest labeled the Ultimate Experience that they ran earlier in 2018. It is not focusing.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Joseph was the answer.
To the rescue.
Joe's never the answer. Holy cow.
So yeah, we get to play with number 368 out of 500 that they made for this run.
And Ultimate Experience, is that what it was called?
Yep.
Even says so right on the blade,
Mhm.
actually, which is kind of cool.
When these were being made, I didn't know if they were going to make them out of a certain amount.
Yeah.
Benchmade always kind of leaves it a little bit elusive on how many they're making, if it's an unlimited limit, things like that. So it's awesome to see that they only made 500 of these, and we get to play with one right off the bat.
100%.
Like,
It is very cool.
I love the fact that we get to play with this knife.
And yeah, as a comparison, we also do have a normal version of the mini Crooked River.
Come on, play this game properly.
We were,
Yeah.
I can't believe you weren't prepared. I prepared the limited edition one.
It was ready earlier. It just resealed itself.
So yeah, with my big one that we have here to show off as an example, we got our hands on a diamond wood version of the mini Crooked River just to show off a difference of the scales that Benchmade offers for these guys.
Yeah, we get to show everyone what they have to offer. Micarta now
Mhm.
instead of just the Grey G10. So
Yep.
we got
And
that going on.
You can get the micarta as an option through their Customiza Crooked River, but as far as like on the shelf sort of availability, it will be either the diamond wood or the G10.
And also hot news from the Benchmade website within the last, I want to say 2 weeks,
Mhm. It
maybe
was very
3.
recent.
they announced that the Mini Crooked River is in the customizing. Now, the crappy thing in Benchmade, I'm calling it out to you here, let Canadians have the customizer.
Please.
Come on.
Because the fact that it's only US really, really hurts me because I go around and I play in the customizer and I would order several directly from Benchmade just to get fancy versions
He
of.
plays so often in there.
Yeah.
I think we've all played around and found designs and color options that we like,
Mhm.
and it's a beautiful option that you can buy directly from Benchmade. Just
If you're in the States.
If you're in the States, yeah. And I think that's all overseas. I don't think Europeans have the option. It's just
don't
within the
think so.
continental U.S. right now.
So we found out as a crew, that you could build the Mini Crooked River before we found out that this was coming into the cutting edge and that we were allowed to actually do a review of this knife. So we were all talking about the fact that, the customizer and figuring out this way and that way that we might be able to get our hands on a customized Mini Crooked River. And then we basically get to play with a mini customized Crooked River 2 weeks after we find out that that's an option, right?
Mhm.
So
It's nice to see how nice that black bolster looks before I have
Yes.
to go
Yeah.
and customize it. You know what I mean?
That was one thing I was a little hesitant about, was how black is that black actually?
the one thing I will say for guys who are Benchmade guys, this has a very arcane, like the Benchmade 490, they didn't call it the Amicus, they changed the name to the Arcane. This black polish definitely has that slippery, the texture,
very
but also
slick.
the color of that Arcane, compared to a 943 black or the Emissary black or things
Which
like that.
had a bit more of a velvety almost texture to it.
Yeah,
dull
they
kind of-
seemed like they
yeah.
did like a heavy bead blasting before they did the
And,
black
If
coating
you're
and
a
stuff.
flat black
Yeah.
rather than a shiny or a reflective black like this
Yeah.
has.
And the texture's about the same across the board between the three of them, between these three models.
Yeah, you're not going to notice it because I think it's aluminum across the board for
Yeah.
the bolsters. So the texturing is probably not going to vary too much on these guys. But yeah, I do notice that. And that also almost scares me. No one's carrying a Griptilian that has it right now, but the black painted clips. This
Yeah.
one's chromy, this one's chromy. I don't think, I've got some black painted ones upstairs, and they do chip a little bit, so I'm curious. But that's chipped on stainless steel and not chipped
Yeah.
on aluminum.
Yeah, so it would be a
An
different.
aluminum anodizing should be it should be right in there. It should be
It's
sealed
done
up very
properly, yeah.
nicely.
Mhm.
So I'm curious on if you decide that you're going to make this a carrying knife on how this black might fade. Maybe guys with the Amicus or the Arcane or the 490, as it were. If anyone owns one, let us know how it's
Broken in over
it's
time.
faded,
yeah.
it's whatever. Because it's got some contouring lines on the 490 as well, where
Yeah.
it would develop some hot spots if it did have it, right?
The aluminum 940s, when they break in and you start to get some like peek through of the aluminum through the anodizing, they look really nice.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
I'm just saying.
I don't know how it would look on this.
I'm
but-
just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let's get into some specs. We got the big one,
Yeah.
which started 2016. Started the freight train of the Crooked River, and this thing like hit the scene hard. Everyone, well, no one, and then everyone, and like was talking.
Yeah,
about
it was kind of a weird progression of
it
popularity.
snuck up on the whole popularity thing, right? And as far as an overall length,
Oh, yeah. that's
I do have the
true.
larger one, so we can drop it from the far side. It's zoomed out. I do want to do some more of this video zoomed in just to show off how hot this limited edition one is,
Yeah.
for sure.
So what does that say there?
Almost 9 on the nose. 9 and an 8.
No, it's almost 9 1/4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nine,
With a blade length of
cutting length. Oh yeah, blade length is almost exactly 4. Cutting length is
3 3/4.
Yeah.
around there.
3. Yeah, 3 3/4. Looks like it. So not a small knife.
and the weight just for
Just for the sake
giggle's sake. Yeah.
sake of completeness.
Um,
Do you want to do specs for the mini?
We will, but I still want to talk about the original because it was the one that started this freight train
For
to
sure.
get us to the point where we get to play with one of these bad boys, right?
5.43.
5.3, that's a hefty knife.
5.43.
Yeah. Okay, so almost 5.5 at
Yeah.
that point.
That's not a light knife, that's for sure. But,
Liners are skeletonized on this guy, aren't they?
yeah, they are skeletonized in there, but it is steel liners, and
Yeah.
with how big that knife is, it's definitely not a light knife, that's for sure.
No. And contrasting the 940, this doesn't just have steel liners where the access lock is. This has steel liners all the way through the handle of the blade.
Mhm.
So, that makes me curious on whether the minis are skeleton knives. Oh, look at that, they
They
are.
sure are.
Look at that. Cool. Anyway,
I'd be surprised if they weren't.
and the other thing, 5.5,
Sorry.
that's good and fine, especially for a knife that fits Nigel's hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this fits Nigel's hands comfortably. So if
Oh,
you have an
like a
XL
glove.
hand,
Like a glove.
we
See.
cannot recommend this knife enough for an XL hand. It'll fit an XL hand like a bedlam will fit an XL hand type of thing, right?
We have the same proportion between
I love the
hands and
I'm
knives.
in love
Yeah.
with the mini because of my hand size proportion, but
Well, you and I wear a large glove, and Nigel wears an XL.
Mhm.
He's a large
um,
glove size, anyways.
so 2016 they came out with this, and I got to bring up I think this
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
on how many similarities and how many people were relaying it to a buck 110.
Yeah.
And like you look at the clip point, you look at the swedge, you look at the handle, all the textures.
There's a lot of callbacks.
Yeah.
Benchmade successfully made themselves a fancy buck 110, and I highlight the word successfully.
It is a very nice rendition of that sort of a style of a knife.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it doesn't really step on toes. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
not a copy of that knife.
No,
it's just
it's-
it's their own representation of what.
Of that
Yeah,
style. That
if
was
you
popular.
want to call it an homage,
Yeah.
you can, but with their own flair.
There's
So-
enough
Exactly.
different where it doesn't feel like a rip off or cheesy.
So again,
Yeah.
we get things like the sweet orange pivot collar
Mhm.
Yeah.
on their stuff, the orange G10 spacer rather than just being and brass. It was abusable. It was a cheap material. It was solid. It was flexible to not wear the lock bar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the lock bar stays solid. The lock bear.
Yeah.
All about the lock bear.
My favorite
I feel
animal.
like
I hope Cold Steel comes out with a new locking mechanism. Instead of the
awesome.
triad lock,
So what,
it's the lock bear.
Is it a bear that follows you around and just grips your knife for you?
It better have claw marks in the blade
Oh,
for marketing.
yes.
That's
Yeah.
all I gotta say. So yeah,
Definitely
I
Cold
mean,
Steel.
yeah. 2016, 2017, they kept it rolling. They kept the hype. The hype stayed the same. And then 2018, they announced with a vengeance. And I don't know if the customizer came before the mini Crooked River
I think it did.
announcement.
I'm
It's
pretty sure it did, yeah.
yeah. So all of a sudden, you can tell how popular a knife is when Benchmade decides after 1 year
To make it in, yeah,
Like,
the customizer.
they're going to put it into the Benchmade customizer.
For context, the only ones that had made it in were the Barrage and the Griptilian lineup,
Mhm.
who have been around for frickin' forever. And I seem to remember the Volley being in, although not too sure. So for this, like you say, to be in the first year after it's been produced, like
That's pretty dang
nuts.
impressive.
And I'm calling it right now. I'm laying it down. I'm not the first person who said it on YouTube, but I've been saying it for a little while now. The next thing in the customizer better be an Osborne, or there's going to be cries
Oh, yeah.
from the crowd, man. A 940 customizer, and you would bankrupt boys like me and you. But like it's
Oh, yeah.
So
I
needs
mean-
to happen.
I was gonna say, like, well, maybe the anodizing is a little bit too picky for them to offer too many different choices, but they're offering anodized colored bolsters, so yeah,
Yeah.
there's almost no excuse at this point.
And there's a G10 Osborne out now, so
Right.
they can do different colors of
Yeah.
G10s. They've got
Yeah.
exclusives. The REI exclusive is a green G10 model of an Osborne. It's out there on the market, so you can do colored G10 models
So
as
you
well
get
as
your-
aluminum.
If they
Do
did
you get
red
color-
aluminum, though.
What's that?
If they did red aluminum, I wouldn't be able to keep them on my
Well, they
pocket.
did. They
got
did
it.
once upon a time, but
They-
if they had a return, I believe
For the
yes.
940, that's what I'm saying.
They did a red aluminum with D2. I've sharpened it for a gentleman, like a
But as a
very
non,
nice guy.
but as a
Yeah.
non, but
Yeah.
as a non-exclusive, I think it'd be beautiful to see.
That's it.
All right, onto the Crooked River, or the Crooked River, as the one gentleman that we were listening to tonight about this review. It made me laugh. It made me laugh quite a bit. The Crooked River. This just built hype and hype and hype. Customizer
So-
BAM 2017, somewhere in there, came out.
Why do you guys think it was so damn popular when it came out?
This
Yeah.
right here.
Say that blade shape is
yeah,
so
it's
nice.
a modernized, updated, better improvement in the steel. less worry about the tarnish, improved, more user-friendly lock.
You've got to
Your
remember
choice
that
between
down
wood
in
or
the
G10.
States, Benchmade is also a brand that's going to be in hunting stores.
This is
So
true.
all of a sudden, you've got some boys that are very faithful to a buck knife, and they come out with something that's very similar to a buck knife, but with this new little flair of pizzazz. And they get it in their hand, and even the rough and tumble huge guys that are out there that are just giants are like, oh yeah, even an XL hand, that feels good in the hand.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, it becomes a bit of a buck killer type of thing. In
A
my
little bit,
opinion.
yeah.
It's,
I mean,
That
there's
might be why Buck's been coming out with some fancier stuff lately.
Could
they
be.
came out with an S90 limited edition the other day. Holy moly, a buck with S90.
That's insane.
was that the Marksman that came out?
Yeah, I don't know, the one with the weird flippy
Yeah,
cap.
that's the Marksman. I saw that video.
Crooked River train. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about
Well,
bucks.
no,
Hopefully
I
we'll
think-
talk about bucks
I
soon,
think it's
but-
interesting to think that like this knife was so disruptive in its own market. That's how good of a knife it is.
Mhm.
That it's displacing other sales.
And then I think this became an answer to a lot of social media, and myself included. And I'm
Yeah.
sure I mentioned somewhere along the way,
Bring up your 940 for scale.
come out with a
For somebody that has hands my size.
yeah, come out with an EDC version because this is
Mhm.
awesome if I'm moose hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And-
not something to carry down the street for me.
And I will say that
Wow.
even though I love how big this is and how much it fits my hands perfectly, this guy is definitely a better EDC in the city sort of option. And
Okay.
yeah, as far as like EDC size and whatnot, it is
Pretty much perfect.
yeah, like bang on to the
It's a
Osborne.
Sebenza .5. It's not a small. It's not a big.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
kind
.5.
of, right? It's just slightly shrunken. No, that's actually a very nice size because I know this is the large Sebenza. Sometimes people refer to this as a
Get that
large
Sebenza
knife.
back in there.
but-
Get it back in there, you so much.
Some people refer to the large Sebenza as a large knife. For me, that's perfect size. Just like how this is perfect for Nigel.
3.5?
For the blade length?
Yeah.
Who cares? It's a Sebenza.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Move on.
On these guys.
3.5.
Let's do
and-
the specs on those.
Yeah. So from bolster to tip, you're looking at 3.3.
Okay.
And handle length.
4.47 inches. So it's a reasonably sized blade.
So just shy of 8-inch overall, compared to just over like 9.25 for this guy, right? So yeah, drop a inch and a quarter off of this guy. So it's almost like a pair of 2 compared to a pair of 3, and that's scary because this thing is actually like a military size. You don't have a PM with you, or we'd show the reference point, but we're Benchmade heavy today, and we don't mean to be Benchmade heavy on our, but there's been a lot of new
There
stuff.
When
was-
the options come, we have to.
Yeah, there was opportunities that we just couldn't pass up.
We had to exploit an opportunity to play with a new item. And we will be straying away from Benchmade. We'll be doing some other videos soon enough.
Spyderco, CRKT. There are things planned. It's just, this was a timing thing.
You had to jump on
Good
it while we
time.
could. Yeah, for sure. So, 2018, this comes out. And they don't waste any 2 years. So, this
Yeah.
one didn't slow at all. It just kept on rising and rising. They decided to bring out the Mini.
Stop getting so happy.
I will tap all I want.
Sure, we
100%.
won't be able to hear anything you say when you tap. That's all good then.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. After 2018, they came out with the mini edition and the customizer within the last couple of weeks. It's been within the last month, and that was a huge game changer. But then at the same time, they did an ultimate experience contest in and around the same time, and they were probably marketing wise hyping up this knife to be released at the same time that the customizer was coming out, to show a fancy version, put a fancy version on the market, and then also go, hey, if you don't like this version, now you can make your own type of idea, right? So get that
Yeah,
out of
they
the way.
had the customized experience contest running. I'm just trying to. I thought I had the. Well, it ran earlier in the year. Ran until June 15th. So yeah, it was definitely springtime, start of the summers when they ran that contest, and the winner of it actually got to customize their own, and it was a one-off sort of thing.
And what was the contest about?
It was about your life sharp story. How does Benchmade help you stay life sharp? Is it a daily on the job? Where do you go hunt fish? What have you and your Benchmade done? Where have you taken it, sort of thing?
So, yeah, it was a contest of how has Benchmade changed your life type of thing,
Yeah.
right?
How has it been there for you?
And it definitely has for me.
You're the most Benchmade guy I know.
I'm a biased man. I don't care about blade centering. I don't care about even grinds. I care about design and beauty and the fact that they've got great customer service for their warranty. If you do have it, which you will have it because it's Omega Springs and they'll break.
Eventually.
If you're me, very soon. But
Yes.
Getting onto centering and blade grinds, though, too. We pulled these out of the box tonight before recording. Little bit stiff out of the box, so we did kind of find their nice sweet spots, short of Nigel's being in the center.
Yeah.
let's
But mine's a user, so.
Which Nigel's is no slouch even for the
No,
centering
it's
as
a
well.
little off, but not
And
too
if
bad.
you look at that, let's get some closey up action going on there of the
Yeah.
centering.
They're all pretty good.
And grinds, too. Grinds were bang on. I couldn't believe.
which is bad to say, but you couldn't believe how good they were.
Yeah. And
Needs
I
to be
mean,
said.
Yeah.
out of three knives sitting here, out of Benchmade's reputation, you're going to think 1 in 3 is going to be off.
Is that because that these are newer models? Maybe the tooling for them is
Fresher,
more
less
on
sloppy.
spec?
I think Benchmade's actually straight up stepping up their game. I think they've heard the complaints about their quality control, and I think I'm personally starting to see more and more consistent, higher quality centering and higher quality grinds.
That's
Not saying they're 100%,
No.
but I get to play with a lot of Benchmades throughout the week, and brand new everything from Barrages, Grip Killians, Amicus, and whatever type of thing,
And
right?
you've noticed a steady increase.
More and more, I don't have to look at a second or a third or a fourth model when I'm looking at these models for a good one. I can pull one out of the box, and I'm finding more and more. I can't say 9 times out of 10, but I'm finding more and more
Fair
of
enough.
it.
I wouldn't be surprised if these 500 they went through and found decent blades. You know what I mean? If it was me, I would. You know what I mean? Like if you're taking it to that next level of customizing and like doing
Limited edition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They sent one to Dr. Frunke less than a year ago that was hideous,
Fair enough.
and that was out of their customizer.
Fair enough.
That he was customizing one.
Customizer department might be a bit different than limited edition.
It
That's-
could be. It could be.
Potentially.
Yeah. But anyway, quite impressed with the QC. To coincide with us actually getting permission from the Cutting Edge to be able to review knives, this is not a reflection on them giving us the best knife. Literally,
No.
we
Yeah,
peeled.
it was
we-
random.
We peeled the stickers tonight off of these boxes to play with them for the first time. No one had touched them since the Benchmade factory. So there's no bias on us getting good ones for the review of the factory. This is just literally an hour ago we got to play with these.
And we never hold back on the idea that their grinds are not the best. You know
No,
what I mean? Like
no,
we've never
it's
held back on that idea.
Definitely something that we've pointed out numerous times.
Let's get a zoom in on the
Numerous
centering.
episodes.
Let's get a zoom in on the centering of my favorite knife of all time. Let's just honor the best knife I own right here. The best knife. I'm going to tip it over because it deserves to get tipped over.
Just a little bit.
If you got the center, it's
You gotta
hideous.
focus.
It's
Yeah.
hideous.
Focus. There we go.
And I'll call Benchmade out on being hideous. It does not change the fact that I will buy Benchmades until the day
They
I
have nice
die.
designs, man.
Talking about functional pieces of work, they're awesome.
So again, not being biased. It is what it is.
I just love the way this thing fits.
It's going to be my next Benchmade is a mini Crooked River.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that they come out with a limited edition with something higher end than S30 because I got a rag on S30. I don't want a rag on S30 because it's awesome for the masses and for the 500 and being
Somewhere.
probably available in a lot of places down in the States as well with the 500. Well, maybe not that many places because it's limited edition. But S30 is their go-to steel. But I'd like to see the 20 CBs pop up more.
We like to play with stuff. We like
Yeah.
to play with new steels.
And on the note of the steel, I will point out that because it is part of the Hunt series, other than the altitude that they just came out with for 2018, all of the Hunt series is in S30.
I have to correct you on that because they announced one at the same time they announced the limited edition and the Crooked Rivers and blah, 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 blah. The brand new Benchmade Puko.
Is that part of the Hunt series?
I really think it is.
Okay,
I'm
that I'm
not
not sure
They
on.
released it at a hunting. What's that?
Might be just like Bushcraft series. or
They
something
might,
like that.
but they
Yeah, because the Bushcrafter is a blue series.
it is. This
Yeah.
is a true story.
Yeah, so that's
They
we're not
also
sure on
released
that.
it at a hunting and outdoor expo too, but it's an outdoor expo.
3V, S90V, for higher end pieces, why not? I think it's a fine
And I
choice.
don't think either. Well, S90 is okay for folders, but I don't think 3V is necessarily a good thing for folders either. So, not saying that they're going to put 3V in folders, but I would like to see them step up there, especially the 20 CB
Yeah,
games.
yeah, I would like that as well, but because it is the Hunt series, that's why they went with the
For sure.
S30 for the limited.
Yeah. Okay. All right, boys. Cheers.
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 And also cheers to the Cutting Edge Cutlery Company for once again donating this knife or these knives to us tonight for the review and look at them and whatnot and the opportunities that they have given us.
Yeah, we really love that we're going to be able to really open up on some reviews, things that we've been talking about that we don't have in our personal collections, but things that the Cutting Edge might be willing to donate for us. As far as a Canadian retail store, they're being really awesome about letting us do our thing on these tabletop discussions, so we have to give a shout out to them. And,
For sure.
and we'll put up some blurbs on where you can connect with them on their website, their social media, their Instagram, their Facebook, all of that fancy go kind of stuff.
All of the things that he said.
And more.
I'm good at
Maybe,
saying those
probably not
things.
more.
Yeah. I don't think there's more.
Probably not, no.
Am I
no.
missing Twitter? I don't think I'm missing
don't think
Twitter.
they do
I don't
Twitter.
think. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're Canadian.
But yeah, back to why we're sitting around the table tonight.
This guy,
This
right here,
special little guy.
the mini thing.
So we wanted to touch on weight.
Indeed.
Before the recording started, I was very curious on whether the micarta or the diamond wood was going to be heavier or lighter.
Just the bumpy.
No, I'll bump it all I want. Just because it's very curious to me on two semi-artificial, semi-natural products.
3.34.
We've got 3.34 on the canvas micarta with the black and the stainless steel, so that's another variable. What have we got?
332.
3.32. So a hair
Once
lighter.
again,
0.02.
like last episode, we had weight difference of hairs that we were splitting
Hundreds of a difference. Yeah. And I think that was between the sequel and the mini grip. On the
there. I believe
hundreds.
it was, yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head.
So,
Same model, so it makes sense that they'd be this close.
But yeah, we were just really mostly curious about the density difference in the handle materials.
diamond wood versus micarta, aluminum bolster versus stainless steel, black anodizing, and like it's.
Well, I'm going to correct you on that because I think you were pointing out earlier that it was aluminum.
No, on the
On the
pivot ring.
pivot, not
Stainless
bolster.
ring, and I believe the orange anodized
Yeah.
is aluminum.
It would have
so-
to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah,
That's,
you had said bolster.
I'll bolster you right in the pivot ring.
Appreciate if you didn't.
Oh,
Please don't. Please don't.
There's an explanation. I had to say
It was,
yeah.
yes.
Making me sad. Let's continue.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Throwing the Farnsworth.
How do we all feel about the minis? Because I love it.
I
I'm going to be
love-
buying one.
I very much enjoy one.
Yeah.
I've long said the Bedlam is one of my favorite handle profiles simply because this has a very similar sort of curve with like the double choil, elongated for the rest of your fingers, one for the index. I dig
You're
it.
throwing up a similarity to a bedlam. It's been a couple years since I played with a bedlam.
Fair enough.
So
Just for me, the way that I know the Bedlam's more curved, but
Yeah.
the way that this is curved, this is somewhat reminiscent. That my CT 560 is the same way. I love these ergos, and they've translated super well into the mini. They call it a mini, but again, same size as your 940, barely smaller than my Sabenza. I think this is a phenomenal format that they've chosen. It's translated super well.
Indeed. I think I pointed out earlier that I find that the mini is a little bit better of a EDC city sort of size of a knife. And despite my hand size and the little bit of a discomfort I find, it's a little squishy to get 4 fingers on there. Almost a 3-finger grip. I think it is definitely a better option for in the city, but as far as a hunt knife and my hand size, I'll always go towards the big guy.
If you've got an XL or bigger, you're gonna like the bigger one.
Mhm.
If you've got a large or a medium, chances are you might be split. If you've got a large, you still might like this one. But if you've got a large or a medium, you're gonna like the mini, and especially in the EDC variety.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
All day, if I'm carrying that in my pocket in the city, I'm gonna gravitate towards the mini.
Mhm.
But out in the bush, I would like to have a little bit extra.
And
height.
with the new limited edition one, they did the backspacer in the black rather than the backspacer in the orange. So even in an EDC environment, this is going to be a little more city friendly than blaringly standing out,
Yeah, a little more
which is
settled.
awesome in a hunting and
Yeah,
outdoor
yeah, it
environment.
makes sense being the hunt series
The
that
hunt.
they would do that.
The hunty series.
I just wanted to check the blade stock thickness.
I
Seems
think
like the
it is-
minis are slightly thinner.
Slightly, but not
Not
much.
If you could change one thing about the mini, is there anything you would change?
Oh, blade steel.
Okay,
I got to talk about the S30 blade steel,
So-
but that's just my pickiness. And I love the
Your
fact that
geekiness.
Yeah,
yeah, I love the fact that they did a limited edition one. But if they hadn't done something with a 20 CV and M4,
Make it a little bit more special for the fact that it's limited.
and I mean the SHOT Show knife went up accordingly this year in value because of Benchmade's like price points and everything going up. So I can imagine that a limited edition mini Crooked River could go up to those same price points that the SHOT Show was,
Yeah.
throw some sort of fancy steel in there, and justify the price point other than
Mhm.
a micarta that you've already developed for a Pardue Hunter.
Yeah.
Because this is the same micarta that is on the Pardue Hunter. So you already had that in development. It's not like you went out of your way to make that.
That's fair.
Maybe the stainless steel pivot ring is the only thing that you actually did go out of your way. And that can justify the price point. But you throw it up into the 350 to 375 category,
a small.
and you can throw a price point on there that still would sell with a limited edition
I'll
version
give you-
of
I
500.
would think so. And honestly, a stainless steel pivot ring, that's not going to be a huge price increase just to get that and then different material for the volume that they were producing.
Honestly, that's probably the price point between the 250 to 300 or give or take type of thing on the retail.
Well, the micarta, right?
But
I was gonna say
again,
the limited edition.
it's-
Yeah,
I've heard it.
aside from that,
That is the most of probably the jump is probably the fact it's limited.
Because honestly, the micarta is already being developed for the
I could
Pardue
have sworn the
Hunter.
Pardue was a slightly different color variation, but
just because it's micarta, it might have variances within it, but it is like I agree with Dennis. It's the same micarta.
close
Very
enough
similar,
regardless.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys would change?
Other than the size, and that's why I lean towards the big guy. Yeah, it's a great knife as it is, I think. But
Fair enough.
I like the size. I think color variation, steel difference. I'm with Dennis. I think I would rather have a better steel. And I say better. S30V is a great steel. S90V would be cool. 20CV would be nice. M4 even would be really
M4 would
cool.
be fun.
And hopefully this variation will lead into maybe other limited editions with other variations, and they can get up into that $350, $400 price point for some of those fancier variations without necessarily going gold class.
Yeah.
Still limited edition blue class, because they do a lot in limited edition blue class. And this is one of them, and we're happy to get our hands on it, right? So
And I completely agree with both of you guys about changing the steel. But the only other thing that I might change would be to put a deep carry clip on it.
I don't know. I've been rocking the deep carry clip on mine for the last little while, and I'm on the fence on which one I like the best. It's I like how it sits in the pocket with the deep clip, but as far as in the hand, I find it adds too much width at the butt end, right where the edge of your hand sits.
Let's
And
do side by side
it
Yeah.
changes ergos.
Oh,
For sure, it
100%.
changes ergos.
But I lean that direction.
Yeah,
So-
I can understand. And with the Osborne that I'm rocking tonight and the deep carry, it's knife to knife.
That's what I
oh
mean.
yeah,
It's just-
definitely
it's-
knife to knife.
But you'll notice, and we haven't talked about it yet, but the other hunt series that we've got on the table, and I didn't change it over to a deep carry, even though I've got one or two available, because you hooked me up with some cool carbon fiber ones, so I've still got this one transferred over, right? So it is very much knife to knife. I don't know if I would like this one in a deep carry. I think I would.
I just like deep carry, and I
Yeah.
would be.
But the cool thing about Benchmade too is the clip replacement is covered under their warranty.
Yeah.
So you can just tell them, I would like a clip replacement, because obviously you're not satisfied with the clip that you have, and they can give you a deep carry pocket clip.
100%.
No problem. If you guys weren't so goddamn lazy.
Again, anyway.
I got my Osborne
That's
fixed
fair.
and I'm a happy man, and you guys need to do
I
the same
think-
thing. So,
I think as far as a hunt series is concerned, having less of a gap between the clip and the handle, I think it makes sense in terms of an ergos factor, keeping a more of an even grip across the board.
It's
But I think also that it would be nice to see an option. I don't know. I guess I'd have to try it out.
It's the one complaint I have with the Anthem too, is that it's got a big clip on it. I'm not a huge fan of that clip shape. I like this one better.
I get that, but again, it's carryability, it's
Uh-huh.
shape and size.
For sure.
It's
It's a nitpick.
in a perfect world, I deep
100%.
carry everything, but then in the realistic world, when you put a deep carry on, you're like, this changes the knife completely. Like it's totally a knife to knife basis. I can't say I'm deep carry or not deep carry, because sometimes, like the Osborne, I've got the deep carry on right now,
Mhm.
and it's a light enough carry, and it's S90, so it's got a bit of a razor blade, so it's enough that you don't have to high pressure it. But if you're putting a high pressure on the knife in any way, and the Crooked River is meant to be the high pressurized knife.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny that Nigel says that because I'm a slightly smaller hand, apple pickers, the low profile clip actually fills that out really nice. Like as soon as I grab his knife,
Think about where a low carry clip would sit for my hand too.
On the
though.
minis.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
fit perfect for me.
Mhm.
I think.
but again, with their warranty, if you decide you don't want the normal clip, you can get it for free.
Yeah.
It's not a bad option. So that one's an interchangeable. Blade Steel is still a customization thing straight off their website.
Nobody wants to change anything about the ergonomics.
Well,
No.
no, I love the mini.
That
I'm
is
going
so
full with the mini soon.
Yeah,
I just
it's
wanted.
perfect.
I know that none of
Yeah.
you do, but I think we should address it on camera. Was that just how well this fits everybody's hand?
The thumb stud, and I've become a little more of a snob about this in the last year than I have ever been in the last decade of me being a knife guy. Thumb studs compared to thumb holes, the Crooked River definitely gets in the way of the cutting path and the sharpening path to some degree.
A sharpening path, at least you can remove the studs, but
Yeah. Well, if you were wanting to sharpen and stay out of the studs instead of keeping at a nice right angle to the edge of the stone, you'd have to
You do have
tip
to.
off.
Yeah,
and that
for
goes
sure.
for the mini and
Yeah.
the large. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same ergonomics, whether it's the mini,
Yeah.
whether it's the big. It does get in the way.
They are removable if you wanted to sharpen them.
They
later
are
on.
removable as well. Sometimes lock stick is heavier than other times with Benchmade products, and I've had thumb studs where I'm like, I can't touch those.
That's
I can't
fair.
get them off. I can't do anything to reprofile. And I'm not afraid of reprofiling. Like, I think I've proven it in the last 2 months of the videos that I'll put a knife on whatever angle I want to put a knife on.
Speaking of lock stick, this one came out of the box a little bit, didn't it?
Both of them did. The
Okay, fair
minis both have lock stick, and I've noticed that the centering and the grinding has been fantastic on the minis and other knives as well, but the lock stick out of the
Has
box.
increased.
The lock stick out of those three issues, that should be the thing that can ease in over time. The lock stick should fade away.
This is true.
Yeah.
940s, 943s, the new black half serrated 940s at the cutting edge, and again, I'm going to give a shout out to the cutting edge because we love the fact
Having
that
this option.
they're letting us do this. This is awesome. So yeah, all of them, like blade centering, blade grinds, fantastic. Blade lock stick. I played with a 940 that was rougher than anything else I've ever played with before from a Benchmade line.
That was the black blade one, wasn't
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Well, there's been a couple of times tonight where I've gone to cat hair everywhere, where I've gone to close this guy, and even there you can hear like here. See if we can get that.
Mhm.
That's it. That's not it hitting the side of the liner. That's it coming undone. Again, self-correcting issue, but it is interesting that as the other qualities start to improve, we start to have more consistent looks there.
And this one has
Yeah,
Yep.
you can definitely hear
a
it.
nice chunk, but again, I'm kind of snapping it like I need it. I'm not being too hard about it. I'm putting it forcefully, and you can feel the release. Short of slow-handed opening.
I can't hold this knife to get to the. Yeah, no, there's none on this. It's broken in real nice.
I don't think mine ever really had any.
First gen.
Yeah.
Again, 2016, and I'm sure this is a first gen model that Nigel is carrying.
Mm-hmm. I think it was,
Because
yeah.
we're so excited about that knife.
Yeah, I can't actually get my palm to the bottom of that knife to push against, like I do with most of my knives. With
No, I can't either.
One more thing I want to dabble on is the stop pins.
Mhm.
And we noticed this tonight, and this is a new thing, and I'd love to hear a whole bunch of comments on this from anyone who has a Benchmade Hunt series or anyone who has a Benchmade Bone Collector, which was the predecessor to the Hunt series. And I'm really curious if the Bone Collector reptilians had what I'm seeing here, which is a screwed-in stop pin
From both sides.
from the Crooked Rivers.
Would that give you the option to turn your stop pin to keep like up and down play at a minimum?
You can undo both of them.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Potentially for that, but it would also strengthen how it's set in there.
Of course.
Rather than having a knife where it's just kind
Divots.
of like the Osbornes, where it's just kind of nestled in. With the Hunt series and the potential that someone might be prying a little bit
Get
to
between joints.
stuff like that,
Here-
if you pry too hard, you might bend the scales apart and pop the stop
Yeah,
pin out.
I like
and
that.
I've heard of more than one person where it's a suspended one and you flex it. Nothing broke, but it flexed enough that the
Spit
stop
the pin out.
Yeah, so with it being screwed in, you avoid that situation and that issue.
I like that.
And here's a little bit of physics weirdness. So, because on your 940, this is a solid piece of steel, and for the pin, that is more likely to bend through plastic deformation,
Yeah.
through repeated bending. However, because all of these stop pins are hollow to accommodate the threading, that will actually allow the force of snapping open your knife to travel more evenly through the material, through the screws, and into the handle
That
of the
makes
knife.
sense. Yeah,
I like
even
that.
distribution. It's like a pool cue
Yes.
with the threading on it. And if it's a one-piece wood thread compared to the metal threads, it transfers the energy differently. So it depends on a breaking cue compared to a normal playing
It's-
cue. And I'm totally going nerdy on a different level, but it's a transferable
It's okay.
art. It makes sense.
And it's the
Yeah.
same reason why
For
IBs
sure.
are built the way they are. The reason, or why there's fullers and swords. It's meant to strengthen material by strategically removing it. It just happens to
Without
be
adding any extra weight.
exactly, and it just happens to be that by hollowing out those stop pins, you're inevitably creating a stronger structure.
So,
You're such a-
dabble on, and you noticed it first, Joe. Dabble
Yeah.
on the fact that some Hunt series is slightly different than
So-
other Hunt series.
It's super weird, but some of these, including the Grizzly Ridge and this guy, the North Fork,
Yeah.
they have a screw on one side and not the other. It's a little bit odd that they did that. I'm not sure whether it was initially done to aid in disassembly or what have you, maybe to keep it on one
But
side.
the
They
Grizzly
did testing
Ridge,
and they
but
realized
the Grizzly
all that.
Ridge is the predecessor, or the new knife to the Grizzly Creek, and the Grizzly
Yeah.
Creek was the wood-handled one. And I
That was
don't
also
know.
a lockback, though, so it wouldn't have
Nope.
the stop pin,
Nope,
wasn't it?
the one with the gut hook was just a larger version of the.
Oh,
North
that's
Fork.
right. Sorry, I was thinking of the wrong knife.
And I don't know if it has double
The
pins or
Summit
not.
Lakes.
And then they came out with the Grizzly Creek, which is the one with the Versaflex that we've played with in the shop.
Yeah.
And that one there, you said only has a single as well,
Yeah.
right? So even when they went to the rubberized rather than the G10, the Diamond Wood, they're still doing single pin on some, because that's a new for 2018.
Yeah, I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure.
They're
yeah.
doing single pin on some and double pin on others. So it's very curious on why Benchmade has decided.
Maybe they decided that there was enough strength there and that even if there was some flex, because the screw's holding it in from the one side, it's not going to fall out of the knife.
I'm going to say because of the bolsters. Is with these guys, it's one slab, and that way
Oh.
it's held down by the other screws in the pivot easily enough. But because it's the bolsters, they want to
You can't
make sure the bolsters.
They're-
secondary
Yeah.
screw.
They're
can't just
doing
have the pivot.
the
Yeah.
job of two
Interesting.
things for one screw,
That
I
might
like
be
it.
it.
being
Yeah.
the stop pin plus locking that down
This will be
on
the-
top of. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to double check the Grizzly Ridge right now.
Which is
but-
funny that it's not a structural thing.
Yeah.
If that's the reason that they're doing it, and it's not, we want this knife to be tougher than this knife, that's extra funny.
It might be both. They
It
might
could
be like,
be-
hey, we
it
put the
could be.
screw in here.
This-
Because they could have put that screw anywhere in there, conceivably. You know what I mean? Like, they could have had a screw down here,
This-
potentially to hold down the pivot.
This pin is still hollow, so you're still getting that minute ability Plus, you have the higher stability of it being locked in. I still think that there is a higher strength advantage here than, say, the 940.
Where it's suspended.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I mean. I think that it's the.
Do I have the shake? That's all about the shake. But everyone heard it right before, and I tried to stab myself.
No,
At least you didn't throw it at me this time.
Hey,
it looks like I did make a mistake.
everyone,
Still young.
everyone gets one, including the bleeding.
Just one. So the Grizzly Ridge from Benchmade, I was wrong. It does actually have screws on both sides.
Okay.
So that might be a consistent design choice
Maybe.
that they've done for whatever reason.
Interesting. It's very
Yeah.
interesting when it comes down to it. I'm going to own a Mini very, very soon. S30 does not cut it for me because I'm such a nerd. I might find ways to be able to customize and still be able to bring it into Canada, and maybe even through the cutting edge. I'm hoping. Yeah, I can't wait to have something in a Mini Crooked River size.
20 CV.
Mm-hmm.
20 CV, M390, M4. Give me an S35VN. Oh, let's see Benchmade pull out some S35s and just rock the world.
I feel like if they pull out S30... Oh, wait, no. This is their in-house blend of S30. I forgot about that. If they were going to do S35, do you think it'd be from Crucible? Because then they have to
That's
bump
a
up
good-
the price
That's a
point.
good point because their S30's in-house and they can keep the price down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason why they love their S30.
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
their in-house S30, whereas S90 even, we just learned recently, is not an in-house.
Mhm.
They outsource to CPM quite regularly, just not their S30 in particular, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is it powdered metal? The Benchmade variant?
The which one now?
The S30 from Benchmade. Is it powdered metal? Like CPM? Like, is it that same
Oh, that's a hell of a good question. It's got to be because it's S30, and they
Yeah.
would. Yeah, no. Even in their Hunt series pamphlet that they talk about particle size in their
Right.
pamphlet, and they talk about normal steel and the big patchy, and then they talk about S30 with the smaller ones. So, yeah. As far as powder steel, yeah, they're still very much claiming that their S30 is powder steel.
Cool.
Interesting that they don't say CPM before any of that, though. Even the stuff that they have outsourced.
And D2.
Oh my god.
They're D2. Oh, how's that for lockstick, brother?
Dude, that took 2 hands almost to.
So the first time I played with that 940 with the black blade, and we were talking about lockstick, I thought maybe the black was coming up onto the tang, and that was what was engaging the lockstick, and that's what was causing the friction.
But that's not the case.
But every single one, oh, this one is. This one, you can see right there. Boys and girls, if you look close, there is marks on that very, very small black
Of
coating.
course, it's marking it, but we're having the same problems here, right?
But, yeah, I understand that.
Not to the same degree, but
But the black Osborne, the black 940, the black coating does not engage the access lock. The black
Come
coating
to-
starts after
yeah.
the pivot.
And come to think of it, neither does it on the Contigo, or
Contigo! Mr. Fisk! Thank you, Mr. Fisk, for telling me to chant that because I love it.
or on the D2 Adamas. None of those. You're right. None of them have the
It
blade
starts after the access lock, and I just noticed, Nigel, that the black coating is part
Okay.
of
It's
where
fully
that
coated.
black lock,
Yeah.
the access lock is engaging.
Even the pin is coated there, right?
Which
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying that it's part of the lock stick, but I thought initially with the black coated blades it might have been part of those factors. But we've seen tonight, we pulled this one out tonight, and this one has.
Wait.
Oh, it's
I
not
need
as
2
bad.
hands.
Yeah,
It got really stuck.
it's not as bad as
enough.
black coating. So the black coating might actually be a factor on whether these blades are lock sticking or not. Other than that, I think. Did we get a thickness? I don't know if it matters.
We did, but
Let's
I am
measure
curious.
this guy.
Sure.
Not the coated.
No, we're gonna measure just above the clip here. Almost exactly half an inch.
Nice. What's the full size one?
Yeah, as compared to the full
Yeah.
size for the handle thickness.
Hi, Luna.
Full size, we're looking at 0.6. So that's 0.5.
Huh.
This
Only
is 0.6.
0.1.
That's
Yeah.
surprising.
But again, the difference
of an inch.
between the normal pocket clip and the deep carry pocket clip. Left-handed pocket clip, so you all just suck it up and get to see the lefty clip
I am curious.
on the back end.
So, at its highest point,
Swells too.
0.79.
And then may as well measure on the screws, just because that will...
Is that the same height as the rest? It's not the same height as
Not
the
the
rest.
same... Well,
No,
we were
but the
measuring
clip
at the
is
same sort of
on the
spot.
back of the swell of the handle.
I just want to see what the full width is with the clip, too.
0.57.
What's it with the full clip, too?
So a quarter inch.
Full clip is 0.66.
Still 0.15 skinnier than the deep carry.
Fair enough.
So this does definitely, the deep carry does definitely flare it up.
A considerable.
I'm going to say an eighth to a quarter of an inch heavier in the back.
Yeah, not only the thickness at the back, but then it's like a half inch of length that it adds for that
Yeah.
thickness.
Yeah.
That is
And
something
and
else.
when you've got a pinky like locked into the back there, you can have the front two fingers swelled up, and it doesn't make that big of a deal. When you've got a deep carry clip, you don't have the option. Now this is left hand, so everything goes into the palm swell. So I'm loving it right now. But you don't have the option of your pinky kind of locking into that back finger.
Not quite.
Right? So, again, I truly believe deep carry is knife to knife. I do not believe there's one right answer on deep carry or regular carry. I'd like to see them go into a wire style like Spyderco. If
That would be
Benchmade came
cool.
out with a wire style clip,
Yeah.
yeah, Nigel doesn't like it, but Nigel doesn't like Spyderco. You've got a Chaparral.
I do, but
With the
that's
wire
the
clip?
one thing that I don't like about it is wire clip. But I do like because of the wire clip, you can see so much of the texture.
Burn. Yeah, and then texture because of the wire clip. Yeah,
I just lean that direction. I lean towards a deep carry clip, so I would like to have the option to start with a deep carry, and then if I don't like it, I can swap it out for something else.
And 3.3 is what you said for the weight on this. So compared to a 2.5 or the bug out that's like a 1.8 or something like that, 3 is nothing for the minis as far as a weight to carry. 5.3, something like that for the bigger one. You're getting heavy, but again, compared to the buck and what we're calling the buck killer,
Still light.
7.5 or 8 or something
It was
craziness
something like that, yeah.
on the
7
buck.
something.
So,
lot lighter of an option, lot more pocket friendly of an option than the classic buck. So, but you still get that same sort of styling, that same sort of cowboy feel to it, sort of thing.
and a clip.
The pocket
Super important.
Yeah.
That being said, if this had a clip, I still wouldn't clip it to my pocket.
It's still heavy.
It's still
heavy.
Yeah.
Craziness.
So yeah, just gonna kind of round this up now, I guess, because we've pretty much said all
I
that
think
have
we
to say.
yeah.
We're rehashing.
Yeah.
We should say thanks once again.
If for the 4th, 5th, 6th, I don't know how many times, Cutting Edge Cutlery Co., thanks for letting us be able to check some stuff out and be able to donate to the channel to be able to review some stuff.
Yeah, it is awesome. We
love you
greatly
guys.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it makes my life happy knowing you're there.
For sure.
It really does. As far as pros and cons, though, like some pros, some cons. Again, thumb stud, Crooked River in the way of the path. You got a nail nick on a buck that doesn't get in the way, even though people hate nail nicks. So it's not saying it's a perfect knife, but for what they are,
It's close.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
It's going to be very comfy in hand. It fits a great variety of hand sizes, hand shapes, stuff like that. It's a good little workhorse of a knife.
one thing we didn't dabble on, I will dabble on very, very quickly just to throw it out there, is price point. And these are a little steep for what you're getting for S30, but the bells and whistles, the backspacers, the pivot rings, the guards, the handle options, the limited edition factors kind of make up for it, but there's still kind of a butterfly tax for it.
Of course,
and that's
it
coming
always
from,
is.
This is true.
and that's coming from a guy who's got more than enough butterfly taxes in his own personal collection, because I still think they're worth it with the butterfly tax.
For the ergos you get in exchange, this is one of those knives where it's like, yeah, I'll pay it. I'll pay the price for it.
Yeah.
Only con I could really think of for this knife, me personally, the mini specifically, clip point blade might look a little aggressive depending on where you are, but it's small enough that, I mean, if you can discreetly do your work, it's not a big deal.
But it looks so cool.
And that's such a small thing to consider.
At the end of the day, how you open a knife, how you behave in public counts way more than the knife itself. And that's what
Absolutely.
I've learned.
Yeah, because that is way more aggressive than that.
Man, that's the point, and that's exactly what I'm getting at. And if you do that subtly and you open up a box and you do that nice and subtly closed when you're doing it and you put your knife back in, you can have knives scarier than this. and you will not draw attention to yourself.
Yeah.
But Emerson waving a karambit off the top of your pocket and being to the world that you're going to hack some shit open is a good way to scare the grandmas.
And everybody else around you.
And really, this isn't that aggressive looking of a knife. Just clip points can be spooky. But honestly, other than that, love the ergos, love the design, love the weight and the feel and the balance. It's awesome.
That's a great knife.
Benchmade, customized to Canada, get on that stuff.
Indeed.
North
Help
America
us
is
out.
not that far. Give Mexico a chance too. I don't care. I'm not biased. Like, give the whole shebang.
Just let us play.
Let us have some fancies on the mini Crooked River, and I'll have one in my pocket very soon.
Yeah.
So, all right, round it out.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be all for tonight then. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. This is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm XL.ca.
We will catch you again next time.
Check this knife out, brother.
Pretty sweet.
It's an awesome knife.